Miss Beth, are we good? All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will go ahead and call the regular scheduled council meeting for the month of March to order, and note that I am thankful that it is not the Ides of March tonight. With that, I will turn it over to Councilwoman Johnson Wilson for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Charlie Roberts, the GIS coordinator for the town of Somerville, has truly exemplified an all-in approach since stepping into his role. His dedication and enthusiasm have been evident from day one as he fully embraces every challenge and opportunity that comes his way. Beyond his commitment, Charlie has showcased remarkable creativity in utilizing the GIS tools we've invested in, enhancing both efficiency and accuracy in our projects. Charlie took the initiative to perform an address audit on the town's accounts with Carolina Waste and finding invalid accounts, the removal of which will save the town thousands of dollars in wasted expenses. Charlie also helped to start a new verification process for in-town addresses being serviced by Carolina Waste, continuing to save the town money. His innovative solutions and proactive mindset have made a significant impact, and we are fortunate to have him on our team. Next, if I could have Hannah Pond and Lola Gant. Miss Hannah Pond is a 24-year-old middle school teacher, earning the title of Miss Somerville 2025 in September, and was also recognized with the overall interview award. For her talent, she performed an engaging musical theater piece. Her community service initiative, Radiating Resilience, Aiding Those Experiencing Hardship, focuses on supporting individuals facing life challenges through community empowerment. And Lola Gant, Miss Somerville's Teen 2025, is a senior at Hanahan High School. For her talent, she played a beautiful piano piece, and her community service initiative, Mind in Motion, Uplifting Women in Sports, focuses on empowering female athletes and promoting mental health awareness in the sports community. Hannah and Lola will spend the next year representing Somerville around the state and at the Miss South Carolina and Miss South Carolina's teen pageant in June in Columbia. Next, we have a proclamation for Women Construction Week. Whereas the National Association of Women in Construction Palmetto Chapter of South Carolina, number 385, has distinguished itself for 7 years as the voice of women in construction in Somerville. And whereas the work done by the Palmetto Chapter of South Carolina, number 385, has benefited Somerville through community development and educational programs. And whereas the Palmetto Chapter of South Carolina 385 has unceasingly promoted the employment and advancement of women in the construction industry. And whereas the construction community, represented by Palmetto Chapter of South Carolina 385, has been a driving force in fostering community development through renovation and beautification projects, promotion of skilled trades careers, and a positive vision of the future. And whereas the Palmetto Chapter of South Carolina 385 has sought to achieve successful results for Somerville and surrounding areas in a cooperative spirit with other organizations, now therefore Mayor Russ Hutchberry and the Somerville Town Council do hereby proclaim the week of March 2nd through the 8th, 2025 as Women in Construction Week and recognize the NAWIC Palmetto Chapter and its many dedicated volunteers for their steadfast work on behalf and support of women in construction.
At every level of construction that have made projects successful, like the Cooper River Bridge project, Nexton Parkway Interchange project. Without these females in our industry, we could not get the job done because there's not enough professionals right now to handle the construction needs of our community. So I thank you for what you do, advocating for women in construction, so we have more successful projects.
We appreciate your support. Thank you. Next, we have approval of minutes from previous meetings.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve for these meetings at the same time, A, B, C, and D.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve the minutes, A, B, C, and D. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
For public comment for items on the agenda, I actually have two to read before we start. They are on the agenda. Number one is from Melanie Russo, who is in Newington. Dear Somerville Town Council, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm reaching out as a concerned resident of Newington Plantation who cares deeply about the safety of our community. The intersection at King Charles Circle and Smythe Drive has become increasingly dangerous due to speeding cars, and I fear it's only a matter of time before a serious accident happens. As a parent and neighbor, I see kids playing, families walking their dogs, and residents out for evening strolls every day. But I also see cars flying through the intersection without slowing down, making it unsafe for anyone to use the streets. I can't count the number of times I've had to grab my child's hand a little tighter or call out to a neighbor's kid to be careful. No one should feel unsafe just walking or riding bikes in their own neighborhood. A simple three-way stop sign would make a world of difference. It would force drivers to slow down, be more aware, and ultimately protect the people who live here. I know I'm not alone in this concern. Many of my neighbors feel the same way and would be happy to support this effort. I kindly ask the Town Council to take this request seriously. Whether through community input or simply considering the well-being of the families who live here, I urge you to make this small but vital change. Please let me know what steps we can take to move this forward. Thank you for your time and for everything you do to make our town a safer place. I truly appreciate your attention to this matter and look forward to your response. Next is from Larry Collette in Newington Plantation. Dear Mayor Hutchberry and Town Council members, on behalf of the 546 households in the Newington neighborhood. I am hopeful with yours and our town council's help today to solve an important safety problem within our neighborhood. This three-way stop sign request has been brought up numerous times at our homeowner association meetings, and it continues to be a big concern for residents. The problem is the intersection of Upper Smythe Drive and King Charles Circle, which is located a few blocks away from Lee Street, the main entrance into our neighborhood. It's a major safety hazard as pedestrians and drivers continue to have trouble looking up the hill and safely seeing traffic coming around a curve at this intersection. Because of the hill, the turn, and the speed of cars here, this is one of the most dangerous intersections in Newington. This intersection is also main part of a route that buses use to and from the neighborhood's two elementary schools. For the safety of drivers and pedestrians, this intersection needs stop signs in all three directions. Unfortunately, our requests for additional stop signs at this intersection have been turned down 3 times by SCDOT. We are hoping the town can help us improve safety for our residents and children riding buses at this intersection. As always, Newington homeowners appreciate the work that the town puts forth on our behalf, and we are hopeful that you can help us with this matter. Next, I have Martha Sue Hope.
Okay, I do have an agenda item 10B. To convey property to 303, to convey the right of way at 303 West Richardson. And tonight is the first time I ever saw this. And I'm concerned because I have light pollution. Where I used to not see the city, the town, the traffic light at Cedar and Richardson. I couldn't see the street lights before. Now I already see the traffic light and the street lights. And I'm concerned because there could be the potential to cut bushes down that would increase the light that floods onto my property next door at 309 West Richardson. So I don't know the purpose for this for 10B, but it just concerns me. And if I wait till the end and y'all vote on something, then it's too late. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Next, I have Adrian Quest.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I will make it very short tonight. In regard to the subject of the UDO, possibly to change the ordinance, I want everybody to understand that, not just myself because I don't live in the historical district, but I want everybody to understand that we are not against the bed and breakfast businesses in town. I think it's a good thing. But we are very concerned about possibly that the rules or the ordinance is going to be changed. And I feel very strongly against that. And I want everybody to understand that we don't try to harass the people that own the bed and breakfast business. So I hope I don't know, it's up tonight. I was reading the agenda and I can't quite understand what it says about the UDO. It may affect changing the ordinance. I don't know, but I just want everybody to know that we are not against the bed and breakfast businesses. Thanks for your time.
Mr. Mayor, that's all I have for the first public comment.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is petitions.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to delay first reading of both items 7A and 7B until the April 10th council meeting.
All right, motion and a second to postpone to the April council meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Under pending bills and resolutions, second and final reading of an ordinance to rezone TMS number 13010000074 located at 917 West Fifth North Street, totaling approximately 0.27 acres and owned by Willie Jamison from NMX Neighborhood Mixed Use to NR Neighborhood Residential.
Mr. Mayor, I move to postpone this item until the April 10th, 2025 council meeting.
All right, motion and a second to postpone to April 10th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item B is second and final reading of an ordinance to amend the Somerville Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 13, Administration and Procedures, Section 13.3.5, Design Review Board.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Just for clarification, this is not related to the bed and breakfast industry. Yes,
Now,
sir.
and I'll explain where this came from. The Somerville High School girls softball team wanted to build a new press box and they had to go to the design review board because it was on public land. And so we're making it so that certain projects, something like a new press box for the softball team doesn't have to come before town and waste everybody's time.
Thank you, Councilman, and makes good sense. Any other discussion, comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item C, second and final reading of an ordinance to amend the Somerville Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 3, Use Provisions, Section 3.6.1, Permitted Temporary Uses.
I would move for approval of the second reading.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve. This is also not related to the bed breakfast industry. And it's for the temporary use of maybe tents in the wintertime for restaurants that have outdoor seating. So it provides some structure around that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item D, second and final reading of an ordinance conveying to Willie Limehouse the remainder of town-owned property located at 110 South Maple Street, TMS number 13013000017, conditioned upon a final settlement agreement resolving the condemnation case Town v. Willie Limehouse, case number 2024 CP 18631.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item E, second and final reading of an ordinance conveying to Thomas A. Limehouse the remainder of town-owned property known as 919 West Fifth North Street, TMS number 13010000047, in compliance with the mediation agreement between the town and Limehouse dated February 11th, 2025.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Under introduction of bills and resolutions, item A, first reading of an ordinance to rezone TMS number 13014131010 located at 717 and 719 West Fifth North Street, approximately 0.478 acres and owned by Wendy G. and Matthew Keith Taylor from NMX Neighborhood Mixed Use to UCMX Urban Corridor Mixed Use. This is in Council District 1. The Planning Commission held a public hearing and made a recommendation for denial at its meeting on February 24th, 2025. The Planning and Development Committee voted to move the item to full council with a recommendation for denial at its meeting on March 10th, 2025.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we postpone this. This is District 1, and in that particular section there, this would be a little difficult change for the residents in that area.
I'll second his
Oh.
motion to postpone.
Okay, Councilman, do you have a time in which you would like that to be postponed? Would you like to have it at the next meeting?
Yeah, let's move it to the next meeting of the council.
Yes, sir. All right. We have a motion and a second to postpone to the April meeting. Are there any comments, questions?
Councilman Brown, you wanted to postpone this or deny this?
It'll be, let's just deny it. If
Okay.
they vote the next time, or we maybe we'll vote the second time. Let's just deny it. I just don't think it's the right fit.
Sure. Okay. So
Okay. So, would you like to rescind the postponed motion and
Yeah,
make a
I'll
motion to
rescind that.
deny?
You'll just deny it. Yeah.
Okay,
So do I need to second his motion?
To deny?
Okay,
Yep.
I'll second his motion to deny then.
okay. Well, thank you, Councilman. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Under miscellaneous, item A, approval of final restrictive covenants for the Somerville Preserve on the Ashley. The request is from the Parks and Recreation Department.
I'll make a motion, we approve this.
second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item B is approval of a quitclaim request by the property owner at 303 West Richardson Avenue for a 0.12 acre portion of South Pine Street right-of-way. The Public Works and Committee on Water Supply voted to move this item to full council with a recommendation for approval at its meeting on March 10th, 2025.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman's recused.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second to approve the request. Any discussion?
Yeah, just, I'd like to kind of explain what this is about. All the town roads were laid out in the 1800s by a gentleman from DC who never visited Somerville. And it's a 100-foot right of way. It's a DOT main road. They only recognize a 50-foot right of way. Nothing will materially change about that road or that right of way. It's just, it's basically has created a no man's land because the DOT will only maintain 50 feet of that right of way.
Good clarification. The debt mold system has certainly created some complication for our survey friends.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item C, approval of a quitclaim request by the property owner at 105 Noisette Road for approximately 0.10 acres of unopened side street right-of-way. The Public Works and Committee on Water Supply voted to move this item to full council with a recommendation for approval at its meeting on March 10th, 2025.
I'll make a motion of approval.
Second.
All right, motion and a second for approval. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
And item D, consideration of adding a three-way stop at Smythe Drive and King Charles Circle near the Lee Street entrance plantation, request by Councilmember Gardner.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve a stop sign request at Smythe Drive and King Charles Circle. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to just to discuss this and explain this a little bit more. I did pass out to all of council a timeline of what has been discussed over several years, I think beginning in 2011, 12. The HOA has come several times to me asking for a three-way stop there. Right now, there is a stop sign at the end of Smythe Drive when you hit King Charles Circle. And this is the side of Newington that is most near Lee Street. There's also a stop sign at the opposite side of Smythe and King Charles, but this is the one that we're talking about here. The problem is not the amount of cars that are passing through this way. And when DOT did their study, that's what they were doing. They were counting how many cars were going through, and that is not the issue. The issue, as you can see, this road, King Charles, as you're coming up, it slightly curves. Well, right in that curve, people are turning on their left turn signal to make a left onto Smythe Drive. But coming in the opposite direction, we have cars coming down there, and many of them are speeding. But even if you're not speeding, when you are making your left onto Smythe, you do not see that car until it is almost too late. As far as I know, there's never been an accident there, but there has been near misses. I could say hundreds and hundreds of times. I've been in at least two. The other issue is the house that is right there on the corner. Their driveway is literally at the stop sign. And their driveway, it's not straight, even with the pavement of the road. It's a
Vertical. curve.
yes. So when they're backing out of their driveway, they're looking both ways. There's no cars coming and they're out there and all of a sudden a car comes down King Charles and they're not, most of the time they're not paying attention, but even if they are, sometimes the speed they're going, they're almost taking out these cars. So we've asked DOT. Their studies say that there's not enough cars driving this to warrant a three-way stop, which has nothing to do with the issue. And so we are coming one more time on behalf of the HOA and asking that we put a three-way stop. We've done this in a couple other neighborhoods where there is a big issue like this, and it worked wonderful for them later on. So that's to give you all some history about this.
Any other discussion?
I'd just like to add to that. I feel like that nobody knows our town like the residents here, like council members here. And that sometimes just because DOT doesn't agree to do something or feel like something is warranted, that we as council should take the position and get it done if it's needed. And we deem and the residents deem as needed. So I think we should move forward with this.
Okay, any other discussion, council?
Yes, sir. The only thing I would add to that, in addition to the new stop sign, is that we give some advance that there are new stop signs installed. I know that our public works does that typically, but I just want to make sure that happens here.
Okay. Now, recognizing that this is where the SCDOT facility is, and we are intending to approve, are we asking staff to engage DOT? And then if DOT says no, we go ahead and move forward with this by approval
No,
through
sir.
escalation or,
I believe
taking
we're
over
asking our
ownership?
Public Works Department to install those stop signs.
okay, is every,
Elsewhere, I believe one or two of them on East Carolina or. We need to know.
okay,
Slows things.
all right. Any other discussion? We had clarification from Councilman Halter to install the stop signs with advance warning. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, for public comment number 2, Linda Haynes Wetzel. Nope.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Haynes Wetzel. I reside at 108 Atlantic Street in Somerville off of Central Avenue. On last Saturday at Parkwood Drive, cars were on the right side of the road. Some cars were coming toward me. But there was a group of people coming out of fish camp. They didn't even look. I would have hit the woman. I don't want to hit anybody. That is a dangerous curve, and I hear everybody else talking about it, but nobody's doing anything about it. That is dangerous. Also, there's over parking. Where's the city council leaders and where's the police or highway patrol? Why don't police patrol our area, which is Atlantic Street? I was told that the traffic is too much on Central and it's too congested. People knocking on my door in the middle of the night. Where do I get my protection from? And no regards to personal residents. And so what? We live in the dust. Floods. Nobody fixed the ditching behind my house. Every time it rains all day long or flooded, my backyard is all flooded. Mr. Knight's supposed to fix it. It hasn't been done. I bought 3 cars within the last years I've been over there, since 1999. All 3 cars have started chipping, painting. I took it to the to McElveen to check the brakes on, not the brakes, the tires. There are potholes so bad from Kicking Chicken all the way to Carnes Crossroad. I drive that way 7 days a week going to work. And the holes are so bad on the right-hand side, you can't even drive on the right-hand side. What does it take to get the road paved completely because of all the potholes? That's not the only place. It's all over town. Look like you're using peanut butter to put on the streets. And it's not funny. You know, I could lose my life hitting those holes. There's one over there by Parks Funeral Home. It's a hole about that big. Guess what happens if the road falls in, or somebody, or those 18-wheelers hit that road and fall in that and make a bigger hole? Who's responsible? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wetzel, and I'll break protocol because I have my mic on to let you know that North Main Street is included in a resurfacing contract with SCDOT to be improved. The timing of that is not perfect, but it has been awarded. There's not a construction timeline and schedule updated, but that project is going to come in the very near future.
But if I may, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Wetzel, if you would send me a text elaborating what you're talking about, I'll speak with the engineering department and see if we get something done, okay?
Hayward Hudson,
almost 20 years ago, we, along with many other citizens, addressed County Council about the crisis of unbridled growth and development in Dorchester County. We opposed the development of Watson Hill and Poplar Grove. Mayor Touchberry, when you spoke to the Preservation Society in January of 2024, you stated that there were 250,000 people that claimed a Somerville address. Your statement indicated that you were acknowledging the excessive growth Somerville was experiencing. We thought that you and the new council would be working on solutions to the problems that we face as a result of unbridled growth. Surely you must realize that our quality of life has been severely impacted by the thousands of people moving here. We are now one of the prime locations for people retiring and seeking a desirable quality of life with lots of amenities. Obviously, these emigres are not aware of the traffic jams on North Main, Highway 78, Berlin G. Myers Parkway, and Dorchester Road. Also, it is unclear how they and new industries will impact our environment, our water and power resources, our tax base, and rising assessments, and cost of living and inflation factors. We do not believe that now is the time for Somerville and Dorchester County to be touting Somerville's charm and courting more growth. In fact, the Somerville Preservation Society is recommending a much more deliberate approach to maintain the charm and heritage of Old Somerville. We believe that it is time for a pause on new development. We call for a moratorium. Moratoriums have been effective in Mount Pleasant and elsewhere in curbing unbridled growth. We also believe that you should be more preservation conscious and build your legacy on the legacies of those that have come before you. In that regard, we recommend that Council give serious consideration to the expansion of the historic district. The Somerville Preservation Society would like an opportunity to present to council in the near future recommendations for additions to the Somerville Historic District. We suggest that if we want to maintain the allure and charm of Old Somerville, we must not only preserve the structures in the historic district, but expand it to
Thank you, Mr.
include
Thank you,
Hudson.
sir.
as much of historic Somerville as possible. Got one more
No,
sentence.
no, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hudson. We got to be fair to everybody now. Thank you.
Pardon?
We have to be fair to everybody. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
have my cell phone. We'll schedule a meeting.
Fran Harbison,
We support quality growth that is compatible with Old Somerville, growth that preserves and respects our heritage and enhances our quality of life. We want to help. Please let us. Thank you. That was his last sentence. I thought you should hear it, and plus mine's really short. I moved to Somerville in 1986. At that time, I was so impressed and excited because there were beautiful old homes, a lot of quaintness, and the homes had expansive yards, all in the beautiful downtown historic area. There was plenty of old-fashioned elbow room. There was room to walk around and children had yards to play in. Now it seems that developers are more interested in cramming as much building as possible into every parcel of land in the town. I thought that a designation of being in the historic district would offer some protection, but that does not seem to be the case at all. And I'm seeing spot zoning that's allowing some people the privilege of changing their zoning. This council worked very hard a number of years ago on zoning, and now you're spot zoning every so often when you feel like it. There used to be regulations about the size of the footprint on a piece of property, how much you had to leave open. But now it's squeeze as much as you can. This diminishes the beauty of our neighborhood and the quality of our lives. People need some space. If we wanted to be crowded, we would not have come here. If you visited Charleston or Mount Pleasant recently, you've seen the negative impact of crowding. I no longer go to Charleston because I can't find a place to park. Traffic is a nightmare, and that nightmare starts here in Somerville. We can follow their pattern and overcrowd, and we'll continue losing the quality of life, just as they have. So please give this more consideration. Quality of life is more important than the money. Please, let's don't overcrowd. Thank you for your time.
Bill Harbison,
I have two things to talk about. 403 West Second South Street. I want to reiterate what they just said. I was born in the old hospital the second year. So I tell me right how old I am. Now, I need something else done. When they pave West Second South Street and Laurel Street, Banks Construction Company came part in the driveway of 404 West Richardson. They broke the pavement. I have a ditch that runs alongside there. I have mine cleaned out. There's water sitting in there right now. Can't get through that pipe because it's broken. And it's been like that now since they paved that road. I've talked to different congressmen here, and I'm not getting anywhere. So I'm telling you all, do something about it. I pay taxes. I live downtown right there at 403 West 2nd South Street. That ditch runs beside me. My ditch is clean. But the water will not come through that pipe. I don't care who's got to do it. Well, the town got to do it. The county got to do it. The state got to do it. But it's in the town of Somerville. I did come to your house one time and you weren't home. Least I got out of that was if somebody came along and cut it. It needs to be cleaned out. I take the limbs out of there when they fall in there. I'm the one that keeps it clean. I'm too damn old now. Do something.
Mike Streckert.
Good evening. Mike Streckert. I'm one of the vice presidents for Somerville Preservation Society, as well as an architect that serves on the board. I'd like to address a specific impact of our rampant development, especially as it pertains to the DMX zoning parking, or should I say lack thereof. I believe this issue could best be described by a business that just opened at 117 West Luke Street. Business, Kersey House, is zoned as DMX. It's both a restaurant and an event venue. I'd like to preface my comments by stating that they are in no way against anything with Kersey House. They are, in fact, meant to be a great illustration of the impact and results of this council's aggressive development agenda. According to the town's Unified Development Ordinance, Article 7.3, vehicle parking location, parking is only permitted in the rear yard within the DMX district. This business has no parking in the rear yard. Article 3.4.5, Section B, Item 6 requires one space for every 4 occupants of an event space. According to the Kersey House website, their business can accommodate outdoor ceremonies for up to 200 guests, which would require at least 50 parking spaces. As you're aware, parking in the core of downtown is at a premium. Despite all the requirements which would seemingly apply to this business, Kersey House has 4 parking spaces in front of their business. In fact, the entire block of West Luke from Main Street to Cedar Street has a total of 30 parking spaces. I'm sure no one's wondering how this situation came about, but if you're not entirely sure, the answer is Article 7.4.2, which reads, there shall be no minimum parking requirement for any use or activity in the downtown mixed-use district. As we're aware, our town has recently been thrust into the national spotlight by being named as the nation's #1 booming suburb. One significant contributor to this is our small town charm. Yet we continue to act as a large city when it comes to development. Mr. Mayor, last year you stated we're very aware that as we plan for our future, we want to preserve our charm, historic structures, and the look and feel of our downtown. That doesn't happen by allowing a business that can accommodate 200 people to open with 4 parking spaces. This aggressive development, especially within an area which actually attracts people to our town, needs to take a time out and be carefully reviewed. Therefore, I'd like to request the town immediately implement a development moratorium until a sensible development plan can be established. Thank you.
Ben Huff.
First, thank you for pursuing the Complete Streets policy. The comments in the last meeting from Ms. Johnson Wilson that highlighted the benefits of Complete Streets is all the more reason council should pursue the goal of complete streets for pedestrians, cyclists, and users of all ages and abilities. I rode my bike from Newington to this council meeting tonight. So I know what it's like to try and navigate this town outside a vehicle. On behalf of Somerville's Bike and Pedestrian Committee, I would like to extend an invitation to all of you to attend our upcoming walk audit, which we hope to have scheduled in April. This next statement is my personal opinion and does not reflect the opinion of the Bike and Pedestrian Committee. It's regards to council approving a celebration for the completion of the third phase of the BGM Parkway. I ask that council be mindful that some will celebrate this new highway, but many will be saddened by it, especially those who live near this highway, which includes my family's residence. For 3 years, my family has endured the sound of buzzsaws as they cleared 50 acres of trees, then listened to the dump truck after dump truck bang and clang to drop load after load and fill in 50 acres of wetlands. Then endured the sounds of road construction with its hammering, drilling, beeping, earth movers, and paving equipment. Of course, the noise is only going to get worse when the highway is open to traffic. At the beginning of the BGM3 process, I listened to town leaders promote the highway as the silver bullet to reducing traffic in downtown. I will be surprised to see any lasting reduction in that traffic count. But I eagerly await the studies. My research shows that highway projects of this nature will rapidly increase traffic and suburban sprawl. I would like to draw attention to 2 articles that appeared in the local newspaper today with the headlines, "Majority of world's population breathes dirty air," and "Rain-soaking atmospheric rivers getting bigger, wetter, and more frequent." Car traffic is a significant contributor to air pollution. The BGM3 will increase air pollution in the town of Somerville. It's required filling in 50 acres of wetlands to build the BGM3. This past year, Somerville experienced heavy rains in early August, which resulted in the highest level of flooding in my yard in 20 years that I've been a resident here. 1 acre of wetlands holds up to 1 to 1.5 million gallons of water. The BGM3 eliminated 50 acres of wetlands near my neighborhood. In the future, I hope council will look for ways to scale back on building these massive and expensive highways in our town that increase the car culture that is causing many health problems and reducing quality of life for residents like me and my family. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that's all I have for public comment.
All right, thank you, Ms. Meservey. I did want to note something real quick, and you may already be aware of this, but the council who was going to meet with us in executive session was not able to join us. So if I have a motion to postpone indefinitely, we may pick that up at budget retreat or our next council meeting.
I'll make a motion to postpone that.
I'll second that.
All right, motion and a second to postpone. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
I would move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.